AVRant and SVS have teamed up to bring you an unbelievable opportunity. Have you been dreaming of dual subwoofers? Perhaps you'd like to upgrade your entire 5.1 speaker package. Don't have the cash? AVRant and SVS have your back. Go to www.avrant.com right now for your chance to win your choice of dual PB1000 subwoofers or a prime 5.1 satellite speaker package. Contest ends September 30th. Don't wait. Open to the residents of the United States and Canada. We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
McMansion Kris. So, Kris says, while answering his question about setting up ceiling speakers, Rob called his M&K 550s bipole speakers, but are they really? He thought they were direct firing, but with a tweeter at a slight angle compared to the woofer. Can we please elaborate?
Right. So I made a huge, unforgivable, unimaginable error. I mixed up the M&K Sir 550s with the Sir 55s. I don't know how I could have.
How could you
such
do
a mistake.
that? There's literally 1-0 difference.
It seems just utterly impossible for someone to make such a mistake. But on YouTube, I'm showing an image. This is the Sir 550. This is the one he has. It's just a tweeter and a woofer on the front. And here is the Sir 55, which is a massively, monstrously different looking speaker in that it's the same thing, but with two drivers on the two sides. They call it a tripole instead of a dipole because it fires both to the sides and the front. Anyway, I'm sorry. I absolutely, your 550s are the ones that are just a tweeter and a woofer on the front. However, the advice of setting them up on the ceiling, firing more or less straight down and oriented so that you from your seat would be looking at the side of the speaker rather than the top or the bottom, that still holds true. Because you want the widest dispersion will be, if it's in its normal orientation, like, it was just sitting on a table, its widest dispersion would be left to right. And I want that wide dispersion to be front to back when the speaker is on my ceiling. So that advice still holds true. There you go.
Now on to some not so positive news. On Monday, lightning struck a utility pole down the road from Kris, and the street lost power for half a day. Half a day? They don't let rich people who live in McMansions have power out for half a day. Kris! You gotta start talking to the governor.
It's really not that long, actually. I've had plenty of half a day outputs.
Half a day. This is McMansions. McMansions get fixed right away. The pole transformer was fried, and some of the surge must have traveled all the way to his house. Theater casualties included a completely dead cable modem, a router which started to have a mind of its own. I guess did the maximum overdrive thing, and wow, that was a blast from the past. And monster power conditioner, which started to make a sizzling sound. And he says, "Don't judge him on owning monster gear. He bought it when he was young and didn't know any better."
I have a monster surge protector. Actually, my parents have it now, but I bought one way back. It happens.
That's right. We will forgive you. Look for the UL certification. Doesn't have it. Throw it out. Luckily, none of the other equipment, receiver, external amp, Blu-ray, Xbox speakers, etc., seem to be impacted. But how does he know for sure if his home theater equipment was compromised? He's turned everything on. Everything seems to be working fine. By fine, he means it turns on, does not make any strange noises. Speakers still sound the same as before. All that. What are the odds that something is damaged and he's just not seeing or hearing it? It's possible.
It's possible.
You will not. Hey, you know what I would do? Don't touch nothing. That's what I would do. Don't touch nothing. Don't change inputs. Don't touch nothing. Just leave it. I hate the bad English I'm speaking right now, but honestly, that's my best advice for you right now. If it's working, don't mess with it. Because if something has happened, it's going to happen in that receiver. And when you start switching inputs around and changing settings, that's when you're going to notice it. So I'm not saying you can never make another change to your stuff, but I'm saying don't just go playing around with junk if you don't have to.
And since it sounds like his Monster Power Conditioner more or less sacrificed itself because it's the thing that burned up and had a problem, but everything that was connected to it seems to be functioning fine, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. The surge protector is supposed to sacrifice itself to save everything that's connected to it. And hopefully that's exactly what occurred. It's not as though we don't get small little voltage spikes and stuff throughout the day anyway. Equipment is designed, good equipment with a good power supply is designed to be able to handle that. We can't promise you that at some point a capacitor won't burn out, but then that could happen if there were no lightning strike ever. So worrying about it when things are functioning, you can just drive yourself crazy because what's the point? There's not really any way to know without dismantling it and putting a meter to every single component there. Checking. So if things are functioning, it seems fine. The Monster Power Conditioner did what it was supposed to do. So, yeah.
Good. So now that the Monster Power Conditioner has, I think this is more than we've ever said monster on this podcast, like ever, has reached its time, he'd like to get a quality surge protector. It sounds like you already had one, but let's go on. He's looking for something with 9 to 10 outlets. So what we suggest, APC perhaps? If yes, any specific model. If you're looking for straight up surge protection and power conditioning, I would go with the H line. I don't know if it has enough outlets for you. It should.
Yeah, there's ones with 12.
But I have an H15
if you want.
I've got an H15 and an H10. My H10 is at my parents' house now because I don't need it anymore. But I've got an H15 as well. I got the H10 like on Black Friday sale from like Office Max for like $99 or something, or maybe $59. I don't remember. It was ridiculously inexpensive. So that's a straight up power conditioner. It will regulate your voltage. Make sure that and it'll tell you too, man. Like right now, I'm looking over at mine. It says I'm getting 119 instead of 120. All right, and it'll click if there's a real big dip or whatever. And I completely 100% trust APC with all of my gear. That they're the kind of company that doesn't know they're in the home theater business, so they keep selling stuff too cheap. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of seems like.
Well, they do have their AV division, so they're aware. They know it exists.
They seem to be aware now, but I remember when they first got in, we were all like, "You guys know that the competition's like 17 times your price, right? 17 times your price." They're like, "What? It does what it's supposed to do?" Like, I know, and they don't even do what they're supposed to do. They didn't even get UL certified. It's hilarious. Like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, and people are buying it. It's insane. So yeah, APC, I totally trust them.
Yeah,
they do have their J. Is it the J ones that are the battery backups?
Yeah, the J types have battery backup to them. And I was going to mention, he's mentioned a few things like, you got your router, you've got your cable modem, you've got your Xbox, which have a hard drive in it and is connected to the internet. You've got your Blu-ray player, which is probably connected to the internet. Maybe you have a cable box, I'm not sure. But anything that it would just be nice for it to be able to keep running when the power goes out. I love having a battery backup, and you don't have to go insane. So I'll just go from the most expensive option on down, and you decide what sounds about right. So they've got their J15. That thing has 12 outlets. Every single outlet on that thing is connected to the battery backup, and 2 of them are high current outlets, but they are 12 amp. You got to keep that in mind. But you could connect, say, an AV receiver to a 12 amp outlet, and it would absolutely be fine. I wouldn't maybe connect a subwoofer or a full powered external amplifier to it. An AV receiver, probably fine.
Subwoofers have fuses in them to blow. Right. So don't. I mean, any quality subwoofer will have a fuse in it to blow. So it is already sort of protected. They're designed to be plugged directly into the walls. They're not. You're not supposed to plug those in the surge protectors.
But those J15s, they're up around 600, 650. So they're not inexpensive. But if you need 12 outlets, all of those outlets battery backup with the ability to drive even some high current battery backup. That's where you start. Now, the J35 and J25, the J35 has voltage regulation, the J25 doesn't. So that's where the difference in price comes in, and you're looking $250 for the J25, $350 for the J35. And I really like those. Now, those are, let's see, those have 8 outlets, 6 of which are surge protected as far as I know.
Not the battery backup, you mean?
A battery backup, that's right, yeah.
They're all surge protected.
So 2 of them are surge protected. Full 15 amps can get through those 2 surge protection only outlets, and then the 6 battery backups are limited in their current, but for, small, your Blu-ray player, who cares? That'll be absolutely fine. So those are really nice, sort of middle of the road, especially if you want voltage regulation. That J35 is a really nice unit without getting crazy expensive. Then you can step on down to the back UPS units, which are normally sort of sold as computer backup things. But you can get one that's 10 outlets, 5 of them battery backup, 5 of them surge protection only. Those are I love having that for like my my modem and my router. Right, to me, that's the perfect device to use for that because they're only like $70. Like the BE
I've used those
750.
before too. Those are nice.
Yeah, they're really nice. So they're not crazy expensive at all. And for the few items that you might want to have just some battery backup on, it's really nice to have that. So they don't look nice in a rack. You know, they're just the big brick black looking thing. Whereas all the J series look nice in a rack if you're putting them in there or in an equipment stand. They look like a DVD player basically. And then if all you want is surge protection, just nothing else, I really do like one they have called their P8V. In fact, Audioholics has even put it in their recommended list. The reason I like that in particular, one, it looks kind of nice, and 2, it allows 15 amps all the way through. A lot of surge protectors clamp down to 12 amps. The P8V allows the full 15 amps through, and it's got, 10 outlets, I think, or something like that. So if all you need is surge protection, I really like that, and it's not expensive at all. I think it's $50 or $60 or something like that.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options there.
Yeah.
The surge protector will be used to connect smaller devices, Xbox TV, Blu-ray player, router, modem, smart things hub, etc. But how about more power-hungry equipment like receiver, external Emotiva amp, and SVS subs? Should they be protected in any way through surge protectors or directly plugged into a wall? As we already said, the subs, you should plug them directly into the wall. I would say with the amps, the Emotiva amps as well, you would plug those directly into the wall. Yeah. The receiver, you can plug into some of the high current outputs. And it actually says, like mine says, this is high current. This is for your,
that's right,
your receiver. It literally is labeled. And one of the few times I will look at those labels and actually listen to what they say. But it is labeled for that. I have a battery backup as well as a Panamax. It's way too expensive. It's only got, I think, 2 outlets are battery backup.
Could be, yeah.
And it's the most annoying thing on the planet. It's just like beep like crazy once the power goes out. Is it just beep?
My J25 makes a pretty good buzz to it. The back UPS unit makes a beep, which can be annoying. So that's, again, I like the J25 and the J35 the most because they're not silent. They give you a little thing to let you know they're on battery, but they're pretty quiet. You could keep those running pretty nice. So I really like those units. But yeah, as far as this, like I have my SVS subs plugged into P8Vs, right? I don't have them on battery backup, but I plug them into P8Vs because the P8Vs, they let the full 15 amps through. I'm not worried about current limiting the subs. And I like to have some other device in between just in case. I don't know. I like to have a little surge protection on there. I'd plug my amp into a P8V. So that I'm fine with. Or I'd plug it into the 15 amp outlet of the J35 because that doesn't have battery backup on it. It's just a high current outlet with surge protection on it. So
sure that in fact I know that the Emotiva amps have fuses on them as well because I've gone in to replace them. Same thing with the subs. So you can. There's nothing, but for me, I'd rather plug them directly into the wall and not have to worry that there's going to be any sort of current limiting, even if for some reason the amp on the subwoofer decides to try to pull more than 15. It shouldn't, but you know. Whatever. All right. When placing a surge protector on the floor with all of its power cables, how far away should it be from speaker cables and HDMI cables to avoid interference? Is this something to even worry about? Well, okay. First, I'm going to tell you what you're supposed to do. And
the more, the better. And if they have to cross, do so at right angles, right? That's right. The rule of thumb stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're gonna have all these cables kind of near each other, have them cross at right angles. And really, if you bought quality cables anyways, you're not
because they're shielded
about it. They're going to be shielded. So speaker cables should cross, or any of these cables should cross power cables at right angles. That being said, anybody ever comes to my house and takes a picture of the rat nest behind my my stuff, they're going to be like, oh, I thought you were professional. I'm like, I start off, I've got everything all wound up with twist ties and stuff, and everything looks good. Zip ties, not twist ties. And everything looks good. And then I go, oh crap, I forgot to. And then it all goes to heck. It just goes, it's just a mess back there. And I can't be bothered to fix it. And frankly, if I had ever once application heard something that I would deem as coming from the fact that there's a rat's nest back there, do something about it. But the only time that's ever happened is when I've put too much weight on something and then something unplugged.
Uh-huh.
You know,
That'll happen.
It's just not something I really worry about.
Yep.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.